Good morning, everybody. Rise and shine. Today we're going to talk about jobs and work. All right. A lot of you teenagers want a job, and you want to make your own money, and you want to buy some things, because maybe your mom and dad can't afford it or whatever, or they're the type of parents like us that make you get a job so you can get it yourself and understand how it is to make your own money and to save your own money. Now, we're going to talk about two separate things. One is work ethics. Two, saving money. The reason why 60% of older teenagers, 25 and under, which are young adults and teenagers, is the reason why they're still living at home is like I said in my video earlier, is knowing what priorities are when you're living on your own, right? But let's talk about work ethics. Until you find that job you love, a job is going to be a job. And it don't matter what job it is, because it'll be money coming in, right? And as a teenager, you're going to probably start off in fast food, restaurants, things like that. You're not going to get these bigger jobs like factories and stuff because you're in school. You will not be able to work those types of hours. And so when it comes down to it, you're going to be working in jobs that might stink. I started off at 16 as a dishwasher. I washed dishes every day, every shift I did while I was in school for almost a year. Well, less than a year, but still about 6 months or more, right? Then I stepped up to busboy, which was a lot better than dishwashing, right? But I still did my job. I still did it with a smile. Regardless of hearing everybody that I worked with complain and all that, I still worked hard, right? I still did my job. Then eventually, as I became 18 and I got a little older, I became a server. Well, actually, at that time period, you had to be 21 to be a server in a restaurant because, serving alcohol. They changed that now. You could be 18. And when I found that out, I was like, really? I had to wait until I was 21. No matter the job you get, work hard. Do it. Don't complain. There's nothing worse than listening to people complain about their job. If you don't like it, leave, but don't burn your bridges. And burning bridges means quitting, because you've got to have references. And for say you're working at a place, you ended up getting tired of it and you quit, but you were a good worker while you were there. Well, you quit. Guess what? When you go to fill another application out, you're not going to be able to put that other job as a reference. So when they call, they're going to say, would you hire him back? And they'd be like, no. Now, it's against the law for them to tell them why, but they'll say no. Well, you want them to say yes. So if you're going to leave, put your notice in 2 weeks. Now, if they decide to say, yeah, you can, 1 week and you can go, that's all on them. But you at least did your job. You at least put a 2 week notice in to give them time to find somebody to hire in your place, right? But don't burn the bridge. Don't complain. It's gonna stink, but do the job anyways. Work hard. That's the problem. All of you youngsters these days want it easy. Working is not easy. Even if it's something you chose as a career and you love, it's still going to be hard. There's going to be times when it tests you, right? So how do you work hard but you don't like it? Because you know what's most important. What is important, all right? For say you're wanting that computer and you're working hard to save for it. Use that as your motivation. Or if you want to move out, use that as your motivation to work harder. Every hour you put in is another $8 an hour. That's another $8 towards your goal. Work hard for it. Keep going. That's all it takes to get what you want in life, right? I mean, I've done it. And as having a 6-member family and raising and supporting 4 others in my home, teenagers and young adults in my home now, that is what I learned. You got to know your priorities. What's most important. That will give you your drive to work harder at work. Don't give in to the others complaining all day. There's nothing, like I said, nothing worse than listen to a bunch of people complain. If they don't like it, leave. You know? I tell them that. If you don't like it, man, leave. Why are you here? Well, it's all I got. Then don't complain and keep going, because I guess they don't know what's most important, right? I know what's most important. The roof over my head, food on the table, my electricity and my bills, right? My car. Those things are important. So that gives me drive. That will give you your drive, okay? 2, saving money. The best thing you can do is when you get paid, put 20% of it back. Okay, say it's $100. What is 20? What is 10% of 20 or 100? $10. What's 20%? $20. Put $20 up and save it, right? For say example, you want a computer. Use that 20%. Also take 20% out for yourself so you can get snacks or go to a movie once a week or something like that. So you got 20% out for saving for your computer. It's $20 out of 100. You put 20% up for yourself, so that's another $20. So that's $40 out of your 100. You got put up 20 for yourself during the week, 20 for your computer. Now you've got $60 left over. Put that in another side, on the other side. Put that up and not touch it as much as possible. So you got 3 different things you're setting aside. Now here's the key. Here's an example. I told my 20-year-old when he first started working with me at 16, I told him at the time, put $40 up of a paycheck up, and then whatever else you want to save for the computer, because his scooter, that's what he wanted to get back and forth to work. He bought his own scooter. But he wanted to save. And I said, put $40 up. And if he would have listened to me, within a year and a half to 2 years, he would have had $4,000 worth of gold. Because at that time, gold was worth $800 an ounce. Well, 3 years later, 4 years later, if he would have listened to me, that little $4,000 investment over that 2-year time period would now have been $10,000 if he would have listened to me. Because why gold and silver and stuff? Because it's hard assets. It's hard. It's real. It's in your hand. It's not in a bank made by numbers. Silver and gold is real, right? Now you can't also just go and spend it like you can cash or a debit card. So that means you won't spend it, frivolously. Right now, you might not be able to afford gold, but you can afford silver. It's only $20 an ounce right now. It used to be 33 or 34. Now it's down to 20. Here's why. Because right now, a lot of Americans at the age of 55 and older are having a hard time retiring because they did not save enough. They didn't have enough money saved, and Social Security and all that might not be around by the time you get to be that age. And you might not be able to get a 401k, which is a savings program that jobs put in place. You put in, say, a certain percentage a week out of your paycheck, they match you. That's 401k. It's a savings program. You want to start saving for yourself for your own retirement, right? Because you're going to spend from 18 to 60 working. But when you retire is when you enjoy life at its fullest. You enjoyed life as a child. You enjoy the life at its fullest when you're retired. You work in the middle. Start saving now. Put another $20 aside a week. So that means $60 a paycheck out of 100. That means 20 for your computer, 20 for savings or for yourself, 20 for silver or a hard asset to save and buy and to put up, and then the rest put aside. Because someday something might happen and you need that savings to bounce back from it. What if you got sick and all of a sudden it was $700 and you don't have insurance? Well, guess what? You do have $700 put up, but it could help heal you. That's why you put money aside for a rainy day, if you ever heard of that expression. So saving money is very, very important. And I can tell you by a fact that my 20-year-old saved and worked for everything he owns. His computer, his scooter, his games. He'd done all of that while he was in high school. and learned from it. So I know when he moves out this August, he will make it because he knows what his priorities are. He's a hard worker. He knows how to save money. He knows what's important. So I hope this helps you when you go into the working world. Work hard. Don't complain. If you don't like it, leave. But don't burn the bridge. Have a good afternoon, and I hope I'm helping.